Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Women's Coffee Club. This is a group, we created this group to provide a safe space for women to share and collaborate in a, and inspire each other in a really safe environment, collaborating, learning from a different host each week. And we're very fortunate this morning. We have a special guest, Erica Hill, who will teach us how to reset our mind toward money in 30 days. So we're so excited. And get Val, Erica is your guest, your coach. So I'm going to ask you to introduce Erica. So grateful for all of you here. Go ahead, take it, Val.
Thank you, Rini. Well, Erica, thank you so much for being here. And thank you all also for attending this session with Erica. I can say that the way I met Erica the first time was in a very important moment of my life. And her mastermind that is called Women Who Reset was just it was what I was looking for. So without a doubt, I sign up to get to know this woman and see what she had to offer. And she has a lot to offer. I've been masterminding with Erica on a weekly basis for more than a year almost, right? Or a year, we're approaching the year now. And the transformation that she says her mastermind promises do happen when you do the work. As we know it, we got to put actions behind our words in order to succeed. Hello, Amy. We see your beautiful face now. Omega, hi. So what I wanted to do today is for Erica to talk to us basically on how to reset our money mindset to attract wealth in order to put ourselves in a position to be able to receive and give more. Because when we receive automatically, we give more also. So it's this relationship actually that her mastermind educate us. So with no further delay, I'm again, Erica Hill, you're gonna take the floor and explain to those ladies what you think about the money world, the financial world. And I wanna say too, at this point in time in her mastermind, she's gonna teach us on how to become our own bank. Who in this audience today has ever engaged into a way on how to become your own bank? Not many, I know. It's not something that is taught at school, even in maybe in financial school, but not to the masses. And Erica is here to make a difference on that. So with no further delay, Erica, you take it over.
Hi, Erica. Before you start, could I ask you to tell us a little bit about your background and why you chose why you're doing this for women?
I am definitely, that's what I was actually getting ready to tell you guys. So for those of you that don't know me, I am Erica Hill, as Val actually said. I'm a financial professional, and within the last 18 months, I've helped several families learn how to grow money and build a legacy, and it's total over $10.5 million. But the reason I kind of landed in the financial industry, because I was always taught, to go to college, get a degree so that you can make good money. So I did that. Well, while I was in college, I didn't know what the heck I wanted to do. I changed my major like 3 times. I changed my major like 3 times, and I ended up in finance. Because I was lacking a couple of credits, and I was like, I'm ready to get the heck up out of here. So I was like, I have enough credits for finance, so I'm gonna, graduate for finance. That's how I did it, to be honest, because I actually went to college to be a mass comm major. I wanted to be a TV broadcaster, to be honest with you, but I had an instructor that was failing everybody. So I'm like, yeah, let me change my major to business. I'm good. So I kind of just was all over the place when it came to my life. I really didn't have any structure. I just listened to the adults, which told me to go to college to get that degree so that you can make the good money. And I did that. Rewind. While I was actually in college, my sophomore year in school, they were offering the college students credit cards. So, and I think they enticed me with a free something free that I wanted. So I did it. Well, I got approved for like a $3,000, $3,000 credit limit. It was something high for like a 19-year-old. Well, guess what I did? I went shopping. I went shopping. I maxed my credit card out, and yeah, I didn't have a job. And the first thing that they do, because when I got my degree, as I was walking across the stage to get my degree, bad credit was walking with me because I didn't have a job. I had no money management skills at all because no one taught me how to manage my money. Got the degree, it took me forever to get a job because in the financial service industry, the first thing they do is pull your credit. And I had bad credit, okay? So make a long story short, my early years of my life, everybody says when you get this degree, you're going to be making all this money and you should be, financially set. Well, I wasn't because I didn't have the skills and the knowledge to understand what to do with my money. So my first years of my life, I should have been happy and excited. I was miserable, fearful, worried because I was living, check to check because I didn't know how to manage my money. Went through all that, learned the hard lessons in life, ended up starting a mortgage company. I owned a mortgage company, doing very well. My first year in my business, I made over 6 figures my first year in business. Well, my third year of business, it was in the year 2008. That's when the market crashed, okay? So I ended up losing my business and filing for bankruptcy. And that crushed me because at that point, I was an investor. I had all these investment properties. I had this business, it's not that many Black women that own mortgage companies. So I was doing very well for myself. But I went through a mild state of depression, to be honest with you. When that happened, I went through a mild state of depression because I labeled myself as a failure. Here I am, like, this astute woman, and I had to file bankruptcy. I surrendered my investment properties. I kept some of my main things like my homes and some of my homes or whatever. But for the most part, I had to surrender a lot of things. And I just felt it left me feeling empty and it left me feeling broken. So I ended up getting a job in corporate America, and I did not want to tell people what I did. I had more experience than the people that were managing me, but I didn't want people to know that. So I kind of hid. I played like the secret squirrel for many years because I was embarrassed, I was ashamed, and I didn't want people to know. So I started really doing a lot of deep diving in personal growth and development. I started hiring a lot of coaches. And what I got present to is it wasn't that I was a failure. I had a failure to perform. So I had to disassociate that identity from me because I'm like, I wasn't a failure. I just didn't know. I didn't have the tools. I didn't have the skills. And I just didn't know. So at that point, when I became, when I understand who I was authentically, I went and got my license to be a certified life coach because I'm like, I want every woman to know this. I want every woman to know. And I understood that a lot of times we label ourselves, I'm not good with money. I'm not good with money. It's not that you're not good with money. You don't have the skills and tools and the mindset to actually manage the money that you have. So it became my personal mission to educate and inspire women to actually, step into their power with their money. Because we all focus on this green sheet of paper as money. That's not what money is. Money is an energy. And at the end of the day, you are the money. So I, start doing a lot of teaching and start working with a lot of wealthy people, because I got my license to be a financial professional. So another door, when one door opens, what do they say? When the student is ready, the teacher appears because you're raising your consciousness. So all these things just start landing in my lap. And then I start working with a lot of wealthy people. And I start to see wealthy people don't do what the average people do. Like the things that we were taught, go to college, get a degree, make good money, put your money in a bank, save your money, put your money in a 401k. They don't do those things. Buy a house. Yeah, they do those things, but they don't do those things. If they do those things, they do it in a different mindset. They're doing this like, how can I make this money, make money for me? As opposed to, this is the life I'm stopping here. I bought this house. No. How can I make this house make money for me? Does that make sense? And they're not putting their money in a bank, paying them less than 1% interest and allowing the bank to take their money and lend it out. They don't do that. They become the bank themselves. So once I start learning all these secrets and strategies and different tactics, I'm like, I'm teaching everybody. Because another thing that I realized is if you don't have a net worth of a certain amount, most financial professionals are not going to work with you because they feel like they're not going to get paid. So they're not going to have vested interest in you. Most of them don't. Because they work according to your portfolio. But I wanted to reverse engineer that because I'm like, it's not that people don't have the money. They don't know what to do with the money that they have. And the same things that the banks are doing, you can do the same thing. You just don't know how to. You don't know how the banks are leveraging their money. You don't know where the banks are putting their money. But once you get their strategy, you can be your bank and you can do the same exact things. But it all begins with the mindset. Because wherever the mind is set, your bank account is going to follow. So with that being said, a lot of us have poverty consciousness and we don't realize that. For many, many years, I had a poverty consciousness because I grew up hearing things like money doesn't grow on trees. The love of money is the root of all evil. We can't afford that, put that back, just a bunch of negative things. But when you're a child and you're looking at the people around you and they're saying these things, that just becomes your way of living too, because it becomes a part of your program. Does that make sense? And inadvertently, you may be living out somebody else's money story and you don't even have a clue. How many of you ladies actually had a class in school that taught you how to be a good steward over your money, or some type of money management class or something like that? Raise your hands. Raise your hands in the air. Amy, you did? You didn't? Rhea, did you? No? Loveline? I can't see anybody else. Susan, I see. Yeah, most of us didn't. To be honest, most of us didn't. And what baffles me is, like, I was taught things like trigonometry, algebra, things that I don't even know how to use now. So why is it that you think that the school system, which is supposed to help us become these astute beings, these astute humans, why is it that you think that they're not teaching us the most valuable things in life, such as managing money?
That is mind control.
Yeah. Suzanne, right?
Yeah, Suzanne. The funny thing is that I remember going back and I said to one of my math teachers, I want to take business math. And he's looking at me like, that's simple math. Why do you want to take simple math? Keep going with the advanced math. And I'm like, no, this is really what that's easy math. That's for the special ed kids who can't take. And I'm like, why did I not take that? I wish I had. I wish I'd gone with my gut and said, no, I want business math.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. But it's so good that innately you knew that something's not right. This doesn't feel right in my soul. This doesn't feel right in my spirit, but you probably were a child and you were just listening to what the adults told you, which we all do.
I'm still listening to what her mindset is. Still, where are you going to do that? You can't afford that. And there's a whole story behind that, Erica, but I'm like, no, I'm still listening to your paradigm. Please stop.
Yeah. And it's going to be there. I can tell you now, it's going to always be there because it's a program. It's just you have to become aware. And once you become aware, then you can change the program because you're aware of it. Most of us live in the program as if it's our life, and it's not. It's just a program. So when you become aware that this is not me, it's just the program going on in my head, you can actually start to change that, interrupt that program and input some new software. We're like computers and we've never updated our software. We're still operating on the DOS system. Remember the floppy disk, ladies? You remember the floppy disk? That's what we're operating on. We're still operating on the floppy disk. And we don't know
When
it.
I saw your topic, I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna be here.
Well, thank you for joining and thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Amy?
Good morning, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much. So nice to meet you, Erica. Suzanne, by the way, I love your braids. How cute. And don't forget, excuse me, right? With the paradigms.
Exactly.
But yeah, Erica, I just wanted to say, I don't want to get too like conspiracy theorist, but yeah, I do believe it's kind of orchestrated in our society, at least in this country, that, you know, we go through school, they want to put everybody through this little cookie cutter, you know, stamp next and go fill your role. And, you know, I think there's like an overall evolution in consciousness happening right now that people are really waking up to this. And I used to actually think I wanted to be an accountant when I was in school. And that was a path I did not follow. So I just wanted to say, thank you so much for being here with us today. I'm so excited to learn about what you're offering. And thank you, Val and Rinny and everybody else for being here. So, okay, that's it for now.
You are, why didn't you go, what happened with you on your accounting path? Why did you decide not to do that?
Oh, it was a plethora of many different factors in my life at the time. So I look at myself right now as being in college with my life coaching and everything. So yeah, things went a little haywire, but everything happens for a reason, right? I'm here now.
Yeah, I love it. Well, thank you for sharing, Amy. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you. Yeah, you were saying it's a conspiracy theory. I always say we were born into abundance, but we were programmed into lack. And when you think about it, everything that's natural is in abundance. Like you're breathing air. You're not worried about, oh my God, I'm gonna take my last breath and I'm gonna die. Like, no, it just becomes natural. It's natural. You're just breathing in, breathing out. You're not really thinking about, oh my gosh, you know, I only have 2 more breaths to take and it's gonna be over. You're not thinking about that. You just automatically assume that it's the next breath is there. Money is the same thing. There is an abundance of money. There is no shortage of money. Prime example, look at Ukraine. We built, and how much money did we just come? And we're like, oh my God, we're in so much debt. And how much money did they just send? It just, bam, printed more money and it was there. So there is no abundance of money. There's a shortage of consciousness. So, and once you realize that, you'll change the way that you actually handle money. Because a lot of the times, you know, and I was a victim of this too, you know, I worked really hard. Oh my God, you know, I really worked really hard because I felt like I had to take care of myself. But I also wanted to reward myself too. I'm just like, I don't want to be the one working all my life and don't have anything to show for it. So I would spend. And then not realizing, Erica, what are you doing? You're building generational wealth for everybody else but yourself. So you're taking your hard-earned money and this energy that you put behind this money and you're just giving it away to everybody else. And you're wondering why, you know, everybody reaps the benefits except for you. And it made me feel some kind of way, to be honest with you. It really made me feel some kind of way. It made me feel like not good enough, kind of, sort of. And again, remember that conversation that I was hearing as a child. We can't afford that. Put that back. Money doesn't grow on trees. All of that was still cycling in my program. So I was proving that program right by giving all my money away and not even realizing that, oh my gosh, you know, I'm in a cycle. You know, money doesn't grow on trees. We can't afford that. I can afford it now. Bam, you know, I'm gonna buy this, that, this, and that. I can afford it. Not understanding that, you know, you're still in a program. And that program is controlling everything. That program is saying, here you go, Mr. Bank, take all of my money. And you can give me less than 1% interest, but you can take my money that I worked really hard for, and you can lend it out for 10%. Does that sound right to you?
Mm-mm.
But we do it all the time. We do it all the time. It doesn't sound right, but it's something that we do all the time, and we do it like with no problem. Here you go. You know, I want to buy a house. Mr. Bank, I need to buy a house. What are you going to charge? Okay, I'm going to charge. What's your credit score? Okay, your interest rate is going to be 4.625. But you're giving me less than 1% and you're using my money? Does that sound right?
Mm-mm.
Or Mr. Bank, I want to buy a car. Oh, your credit score is not good. You're denied. But all of my money is in your account and you're going to deny me. Does that sound right? But that's also in that same cycle of I'm not good enough. You know, money doesn't grow on trees. It's all in a cycle, and we don't really realize it. We're kind of like just living out a program. And you're validating your program. You're validating, depending on, you know, what's going on in your situation. All there is for you to step back and look to see, okay, wait a minute. What is it that I want? You know, what is the vision that I have for my life? And that's another thing too that I realized. Most people are living life day to day in somebody else's vision. They have never created one for themselves. And then they wonder why things are not working out, because that's not your vision. You're not in alignment with your story. You're walking over here in somebody else's story, but that's not your path. Your path is here. And when you get in alignment with your path, you don't realize that your path is attached to their path. There's other people that's waiting for you to step in alignment in your greatness, because your greatness is attached to their greatness. They're waiting for you because each one of us are assigned people on our journey. And they're waiting for you to step up because you're going to give them power to step up too. And because they step up now, they're helping the people that they need to help step up too. So it's always like a staircase. Does that make sense? Got it. And Rennie, I think you said you have a book that says you deserve this. You deserve it.
Yes, absolutely. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
You know, in my earlier years, one of the first book I read was by Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I'm sure you've read that book. And I'm reading this book now for Mother's Day. This is what I got from Robert Kiyosaki. But it's that principle of to understand what is asset and what is liability. And you know, what do you do? Like credit card, for example, you're paying 20% in credit card interest rate, and that's one of the first thing you need to get rid of, things like that. And I think I love it, Erica. So far, what you're saying is so true. Same thing with house. I used to invest in real estate, stock, bond, even cryptocurrency now. Thank you so much. This is such a great topic for all of us here.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, and ladies, this is a dialogue. I don't want to be the one who's always talking. Just ask me questions and talk back. I don't want to. This is not a presentation. Val can tell you, I'm just like, you know, I'm a really relatable person. I like to talk. I don't like to talk at you. I want to talk to you and talk with you. But in saying that, at the end of the day, when you understand who you are authentically, that would be not acceptable.
Mm-mm.
When you step into your power and you see yourself for that empowered woman, that won't be acceptable, because your soul will feel like, I feel yucky. Something don't feel right. I don't feel right about this anymore. Why am I giving these people all my money? Who are they? Okay, I need to learn. I need to, something's missing. I need to learn. I don't feel right about this. You feel violated, to be honest with you. You feel like, I'm going to work, you know, I have this business, I'm doing all these things, but I don't have anything to show for it, you know? And when you really start to create that vision for yourself, when you're out of alignment, you'll feel a certain kind of way, because your soul is telling you, you're on the wrong path. Your feelings are your indication. It's like a check engine light in your car. you know, when that light goes off, it's like, you know, alert, 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 warning, 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 where your feelings are your check engine light. And when those feelings are kind of like, something don't feel right. I don't know. That's letting you know you're out of alignment. And when you can step into that woman who sees herself as a powerhouse in the mirror, trust me when I tell you, those old strategies that you have, because you're expanding your consciousness, you're expanding your awareness. So different things are going to start to come to you. You just have to be ready for it. And you have to understand, like, oh my gosh, I prayed about this. Or, oh my God, you know, I was just thinking about this and this appeared. And then that's how it happens. It's like magical. You'll be like, wait a minute, I was just talking about this last week and now this lady is here and she's saying these things, like, what the heck? That's how it appear. But you have to be aware, because if not, you'll just overlook it, like, whatever. That's how it'll show up. Suzanne?
Yeah, interesting. I'm doing an entire engine overhaul right now. I'm taking out the old engine, getting rid of it, because it's time to get rid of that entire system, carburetor, everything. I'm actually, as everybody else knows, I'm ASPE. And a lot of us not only did not get the education in money management, but because of the executive functioning, we had that added situation added on to us, which make a long story short, I now am getting the financial lessons on how to manage my money and turning that around to help other ASPE women do theirs, because I said, if I'm struggling with it and understanding it, I'm not going to let a second go by without helping other women say, here's the visual, here's how you manage money, here's how you get out of debt, and this is how you account for your money. So it's not even a second goes by and I'm already saying, okay, who wants to sign up? Because now that I understand the new system, the visual system, which is what ASPE really thrive on, not the checkbook register, which tells you nothing, but the actual system, visual, I'm like, okay, this is awesome. I have a spiritual financial coach. She happens to be from the bank, but she's so different than just being a bank person. She's actually so spiritually and a steward of your money. So I'm taking her lessons and turning them right over to ASPE's, because we women are controlled by, if we had a man who is a narcissistic man, he controlled the money and then we didn't get a say. And it's like, no, this is why I'm saying I'm throwing out the entire engine. I'm starting fresh.
I love it. And Suzanne, at least you're doing something about it. You're not just saying it and understanding it and being aware and doing nothing about it. The actions is the greatest creation.
That's
Because
where we're
awareness
at.
means-
Of actions.
Yeah, awareness means absolutely, positively nothing if you don't do something about it, if you don't take actions in alignment with what it is you want. The knowledge, the awareness means nothing. Don't even waste your time if you're not going to do anything with it.
Yeah, it's just entertainment, as our mentor says.
Yeah.
It's just entertainment. It's not anything else. So I've been very good about jumping into the action and saying, okay, that's what I want, go for it.
I love it. Well, thank you for sharing. Thank you. Omeka? Did I pronounce your name right? Omeka?
Yeah, Omeka, yeah.
Omeka.
Yeah, wow, thank you. Yeah, right on time. That last part you just said about, well, pretty much when your consciousness is raised to a certain point, those kinds of things come into your life. And it seems miraculous, but it's just following your mind and what you know in your heart, what you think you deserve. And yeah, when you raise that up, you raise your life results to a, I would think, happier, whether you want a yacht or just not to have to work or whatever it is. We can have it all. We deserve to have it all. Thank you, Louise Hay. So yeah, perfect timing. So you teach about private banking. Is that what you? Okay. Yeah,
Private
I'm like
banking and private lending also, but
private lending.
it's a certain stage, because everybody, I always tell people, it's not how much you make. It's what you do with how much you make. So I do it in tiers. I do it in tiers. And the first thing is your mindset. Then you have to learn how to, when you're saving, we've been taught to save, put our money in a bank and save. No, you need to save to invest. If you're saving, you should be saving with the intentions that this money should be making money for me. And even if you're working in corporate America or you have your own business, your money needs to have an assignment. Every dollar that you earn should have an assignment. You need to tell it where to go, but you haven't been taught that. So it's telling you where to go, and it's telling you what you can and cannot do because you haven't given it an assignment. Mecca, you went back on mute. We can't hear you.
No, I just talk all the time, but no, I would say, yeah, put your money to work for you, absolutely. And everything you're saying, everything everybody's saying is just like, I'm like, okay, you're like completely ready. And I just got a little sum of money. So I'm like, okay, I know not to put it in the bank, but right now I had to use some of it. So I had to use the card, you know, so I'm like, okay, that's a temporary, so yeah, the education, I need it like immediately. So it's coming in different areas, but yeah, I'll definitely holler at you. Because she'll give you information or whatever, but yeah.
Like I was
Yeah.
saying, you want to give your money an assignment. So
I like
if
that.
you put your money in a bank, you want to have an assignment for that money. That's access to liquid funds. So you should have at least 3 to 6 months of emergency funds or liquid funds and reserves. I don't say emergency because when you, how can I say this? Your words are powerful. So when you speak, you're creating and you don't realize that. So if you're saving, oh, I'm saving for a rainy day, or oh, I'm saving for an emergency, guess what's going to happen? And a rainy day and an emergency, because you're attracting that with your words and your energy. So certain words, sometimes I catch myself like, and don't do that. So it's not, you want liquid reserves. You want access to your money quickly. That's the reason you want to have it in the bank. Other than that, no, ma'am. You're not doing it so that you can save money, because you're saving money for somebody else to use your money. No, ma'am, we're not doing that. No way, no how, not today. So you're doing it, but you got to have a reason for doing it. Does that make sense?
Hi, Erica.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for coming on, and thank you for sharing with us your insights about this topic and for allowing us to participate. So for those of us who do have, and you're recommending that we do good things with it, what are some recommendations that you do have for us as far as where we should put it and what we should do with it so that we can benefit from this call as well?
So it depends. It's not a one size fits all. And that's another thing too. When you're working with a financial professional, when they're giving you blanket information, be aware, because everybody's situation is different. You want to, I can tell you, is you want to have your money compounding. So you want to deal with vehicles where your money is compounding, but you have to get with a financial professional, financial advisor, or someone so they can look at your personal situation so that they can give you recommendation. They're not giving you blanket information because it may not pertain to you. So you want someone to give you that specialized, customized attention to your particular situation. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course. You're going to have a financial planner who's going to look at your portfolio, and I have that. But also in terms of us being on this call and you having insight and just giving us a few tools and tips as to what we should do or could look at, I'd love to have some recommendations in terms of what you see.
So are you, every month, do you actually know what's going out, and do you know what's coming into the penny?
I understand that I should know to the penny because that would be beneficial to me. I don't know to the penny, but that's just because I have not been as diligent with that as I probably could be. But I do obviously have statements, so I kind of have an idea. And I also have, obviously I know what the incomes are. So yeah, I do have those kind of numbers, and I do have a portfolio, but I'd love to hear some recommendations. I know it would have to be general because you don't know each of us, but just share with us based on your insight, what are some things that we can do so that we can glean from your wisdom?
So one thing that I would tell you, Arlene, is I would say at least once a week, you need to know what's going out. You need to know what's coming in. So you need to have some type of spreadsheet, something where you know where your money is going. Once you actually, because that's going to determine everything. You may be giving money away. You may be having these different accounts. Let's say you have a gym account, you have like all these different things that you're giving money to, where you can redirect that money someplace else. So you need to know, you gotta get familiar with your numbers. You gotta know your expenses and your income at all times. And a lot of times, like you said, you're not doing it on you don't
Daily
have a
basis.
routine.
A daily basis, but I should have a daily basis where anybody who calls me at any time, I can give them an exact number, including the Starbucks cup of coffee and including the dollars and cents that I spent on the piece of candy. But at this juncture, yes, I know that that's something that I should do. But in terms of wealth management and wealth growth, which is what you're talking about today, can you give us some insight in terms of what we could be doing with our money so that we can glean from this call and be able to go away with something in hand to say, this may be a viable investment or something to look at that I'm not doing now. Or if they don't even have the money yet, we can say, well, when I get it, this may be something that's a viable thing that I'd like to use or at least look into. That's what I'm looking from you, Erica. Looking for from you, Erica.
Exactly. So are you ladies actually invested in the stock market?
Yes.
Okay. So right now is a good time for you to start buying things, because you know that the market's all over the place, it's all over the place. Now is a good time for you to start to buy. You need to do the research on the different companies or whatever, and you need to actually start to buy and hold. Stock market is a good place for you to actually start. Another vehicle, you want vehicles that have the compounding interest piece to it. Another vehicle is permanent life insurance. Now, a lot of people look at permanent life insurance as, oh my God, when I die, this money is going to go. No, permanent life insurance will actually help you with the compounding interest piece because you will build cash surrender value. So as you're putting the money in, the money is actually growing, and there are different strategies that you can actually use with that. It just depends on, now that part I can't tell you because it depends on what your goals are. But I can tell you, if you can afford it, permanent life insurance is a great place for you to start. That's not a place where everybody can put their money because it can be kind of pricey and you have to get approved by underwriting. So, but I think everyone should know those strategies because a lot of the wealthy people, that's where they're putting their money, in those particular type of vehicles, including the banks, because you can also reduce your taxes when it comes to those particular type of vehicles. So there are several different things, but the first thing you need to do is look at how much money you have, because each investment strategy is going to be different according to how much money you actually have. Does that make sense? Ladies, okay. Benta, I see you have your hand raised.
Hi, Erica. Thank you
Hi.
so much. I'm just sitting here, just taking everything in with everything you're saying. First of all, about mindset. Mindset is everything. And I come from a culture that always talks about money being evil. So I grew up with that up until recently, very, very recently. So I'm really like setting my paradigm, changing my paradigm about money. And I read Bob Proctor's book, Born Rich, and Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, and they're all teaching me how to have a good relationship with money. But the question I have is, Eileen asked all the questions, so that's great. I love that she asked all the questions. But I am starting my own small business. I don't have the money yet. But I do want to be able to invest my money when I start making my income. So it's really, I love what you said about the life insurance, and that is, Bob Proctor talked about that in his Born Rich book too. So I know that when the time comes for me, I know who to go to ask for that to work with. So I'm really grateful to hear all this. And Eileen asked all the questions, so that's great. And you answered them, and so thank you so much. I know who to go to when I'm ready for all this. I I'm just starting out and investing in all my inventories and everything to start my own. I have a lot of great ideas out there to make money. So when the time comes, I know where to go. Thank you.
You're welcome. I want to share something with you ladies. It's public information. You can go to fdic.gov and you can pull up your favorite bank, any bank's ledger, and it'll actually show you where they're putting their money. So you can go to the bank's ledger and you can see where they're actually putting their money. And you can model the same things that they're actually doing. The same thing that they're actually doing. I can tell you that most of their money is in permanent life insurance. Most people don't know that. And most people are wondering, like, why would you do that? It's because of the compounding piece of that particular type of vehicle. Does that make sense? And you can pull that money out tax-free. So if they're modeling, if they have their assets stacked in a certain way, you can do the exact same thing. Just pull up their balance sheet.
What is the information you just gave us?
It's fdic.gov.
Okay, FE does.
And you can pull up the balance. Pull up your bank. Go to your particular bank, the bank that you're actually doing business with. You can pull up their ledger. And see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Val,
so much.
you're so welcome. Val, you have a question?
It was not really a question. It's something that I learned with you along the way, the living benefits. You want to talk a little bit about living benefits for those insurance?
So the term life with living benefits, that's not going to build cash surrender value. However, that's more so for income replacement. So for those of you that actually have like life insurance, you want to make sure that you have, all companies, let me tell you this now, all companies don't offer that. But if you have a company that does offer that and you can get approved because it has to go through underwriting, you want to make sure your policy has living benefits. And that means that if you get a critical or chronic illness, you can use that money while you're still alive. So a lot of policies have a terminal illness rider. And that means if you have like a terminal illness, if you have like, if the doctor diagnosed you with like less than 12 months to live, you can use the money while you're alive, but you want the living benefits component. Does that make sense? Got it. Amy, you had your hand up.
Yeah, I just had a question about the insurance because I don't really know too much about it, but my dad just told me the other day that I guess with the term life insurance that you're not allowed to get it past like 85, they cancel you. So are there the same stipulations on the permanent life insurance?
So look at it like this. I always say term is like renting a house. Permanent is like buying a house. So term is just that. You have a term that you have the insurance for, and after that term, you have to either renew. Same thing like renting a house. When your lease is up, you gotta, renew or find someplace else. Same thing.
That makes sense.
Yep, it's the same thing. So if you have a term for 10 years, just know after that 10th year, you're gonna have to renew. Yeah, and it also depends too on your health. A lot of people don't understand that when you have a term policy and it's time for your term to renew, well, if you have some type of health issues or something that happened to you, you may not get approved again. So you have to be, keep all that in mind when you're actually talking to an insurance professional about your insurance goals. That it's just that your term is a term. When the term ends, you're going to have to renew the term. Does that make sense? And it may be more expensive when it's time for you to renew it.
So with the permanent life insurance, are all of the, is everything laid out from the beginning and then that's it? It doesn't change unless you stop paying, I guess.
So with the permanent life insurance, some agencies go from 100 years to 120 years. So it's just like, it's permanent, your permanent life insurance. But you want that particular type of policy for the compounding interest piece because you build cash surrender value in those particular policies. So it's like as you're paying your premiums, a certain portion goes to the insurance and a certain portion goes to the premium. The cash surrender. So your money is actually compounding. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah,
But I can
absolutely.
tell you though, it's not, everybody's not gonna, everybody can't qualify for that because it is a little bit more pricey than the term.
Are there any certain companies that you recommend, insurance companies for that in particular?
Not really, because it's just gonna depend on the person. If you're doing,
Yeah.
it depends on the strategies. That's why I say you have to have your own vision. Like, what are your particular goals? Because it's gonna depend on your particular strategies. If you get with a company that's paying out dividends, then, you know, every company doesn't pay out dividends. So it just depends on what your particular goals are.
All right, well, thank you.
You're welcome. Val?
My question, the surrounding cash flow, did you talk about with permanent life insurance?
The cash surrender value?
The cash surrender value, okay. Can you, it's only your descendants who can benefit from it, or can you benefit from it as well?
For permanent life insurance, you can too.
Okay.
Because the cash surrender value, you can take a loan out
Okay.
against that particular type of policy, tax-free.
Mm.
So policies like that is what, like, Ray Crockett used to start McDonald's. I forgot the person's name that started J.C. Penney's. The lady that actually started Spanx, they actually started their business from policies like that. So that's a very good investment vehicle. Like I said, however, everybody won't qualify for that. So I don't want you to think like, oh my God, you know, and Erica said such and such and such and such. And then you try to get that particular type of policy and you don't, you know, get approved. But you should know about it. Most people don't even know about it. You should definitely know about that. Know that that's something that's out there.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I think as like what Erica was saying, it really depends on your situation, your age, your goals, your portfolio,
Your health.
your health, and you know, because a lot of these policies, because I have those, you know, there's a certain so many years before you can do different things. They're different. They all differ. You have to get together with your financial advisor, sit down and to look at your situation and your portfolio as far as like your income, your expenses and your goals. And then, you know, if you have kids or not, you know, because you want to build legacy wealth that you can pass on. A lot of this vehicle, like the insurance policy, has that, you know, the annuities. When you're older, you'll be able to take cash every month to supplement your Social Security, for example. There are a lot of different things. It's just like this IRA, the Roth IRA, regular IRA, the rollover. There's so many things. And I think the best thing, like Erica said, is to get together with your financial planner and to start planning early, even when you don't have a lot right now. And I think that's the starting point. And as she said, mindset is key, because we all think that you know, we're a victim, and we're not. We need to take back that power to be able to make decisions, not only for ourselves, to help others, and for our children and our legacy, you know, who we want to pass this on to. So thank you so much, Erica. This is such a great
So
session.
welcome. You are so welcome. So at the end of the day, ladies, it's not about where you are. It's not about where you are. It's about how you start. And a lot of times we get into the conversation, I'm too old, or I should be further ahead than I am, or whatever. No, just take action where you are right now, because it'll make a huge difference. And when you're in the conversation of, I don't have this, or I don't have that, or I can't afford that, or when this and that happens, you never know. You probably can't afford it now if you start watching what's going in and out of your account. That's why I was asking, do you have a tracking system where you know what's going in and out at all times? Because it could be just little tweaks that you can make that can make a huge difference. So, but I can't just come and throw out all these different vehicles because they may not even apply to you. So that's get with, and another thing too, and before I end real quick, is a lot of times, I don't know how many of you actually work with a financial professional or financial advisor, but a lot of times the majority of the people don't. You know, they took advice from their employer saying, put your money in a 401k. They don't know how the 401k works. They haven't never gotten with the plan administrator. They don't know anything about their 401k, but they're putting all their eggs in this basket. You want to know what you need to do. This is what I have. What can I do? These are my goals. This is what I have. What do you recommend? That's what you want. You don't want someone just telling you, oh, you can do this, do that, do this and that, because that may not apply to you. Does that make sense? You want to customize a plan for yourself. So you got to get with someone that's a financial professional, because we know different products and services that you don't have a clue about, because that's what we study. So get with a financial professional, financial advisor, financial planner, and let them look at your particular portfolio so that they can give you specific action plans for you.
That's absolutely correct. We're almost running out of time, but another thing to keep in mind is your tax implication. This is crucial, your aids, and when you can start take out those, and then the tax benefits, and also, you know, because for example, if you think you're going to be making more money after retirement, or if you're not, and all of these, when you're talked to with your financial planner, all of that will be discussed. You know, this is such an excellent session that all of us need to hear and learn. Yeah, I'm very fortunate. I am working with 2 financial planners. But anyway, we are almost running out of time. I have 3 more minutes. So any last minute question, or Erica, just so grateful for you to be here and to add to this platform. And do you want to share a little bit about your program and what you offer, that if any of these ladies would be interested in looking into it?
So ladies, June the 13th, we have a money reset challenge that's going to be taking place. It's going to be a 5-day challenge. It's a free challenge. So if you want to, and I think some of you've actually done the reset challenge before, it's going to be a little bit different this time. So if you're actually interested, I can give the link to Val and she can share it out with you guys. And then we can go from there. But I just want you ladies to know that you were born into abundance, but you were programmed into lack. Know who you are and stand in your power. You can be your own banking system. You can do the same exact things that they're doing. No longer do you have to continue to give your money away to someone that's not looking out for you. You can do the same things. Just wanted to let you know that. What does Rennie say? You deserve it. You deserve it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you again so much for you, Erica, especially our special guest, and for Val for bringing Erica here into this platform. Unless there's any last minute question or share, I need to close this out. I know Val has a 7 o'clock, she has to be off by 8 o'clock. So thank you again, everyone, and have a great week. And
bye, ladies.
so
Bye,
grateful.
everybody.
Bye,
You're
everyone.
welcome. Bye.
Thank
you so much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Okay,
you.
bye-bye.
Great day, guys.
Bye.